Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I cannot believe that it has been like over a week since I have filmed a video on this channel. And I have been sitting outside today drinking coffee and talking to my neighbors, giving them the update of our vacation. And they came over here and sat down and were talking about my flowers, and then they were giving me all the gossip of the neighborhood, all of the new HOA drama and everything. It was real nice. But anyway, I missed my front porch. I really missed my front porch. So I was like, I'm gonna film a couple videos out on the front porch. Alex is upstairs taking a nap with Boo Radley. And so I was like, I'm gonna do a Peterisms video. I haven't done a Peterisms video in over a week. And I really missed making videos over here. So I grabbed the two Melody Beatty books. And then I also grabbed the Linda Picone Daily Book of Positive Quotations. I literally have not looked through any of these books, so I don't know what they say. I don't know what the meditation is for today. But let's get in here and look. Let's look at the Daily Book of Positive Quotations first. I believe it is July 3rd. Yeah, July 3rd. Let's see what the meditation is for today. Hold on just a second. Laughing together. Okay, let's start with this one. Laughing together, July 3rd. Laughter is the shortest distance between two people. Victor Borgia. Make someone laugh and we've made a friend. We're drawn to people who are amused by the same things that amuse us. It's a sign of other common interests and a similar outlook on life. I enjoy laughing with new people. It helps me get to know them. You know, when they say that, like, laughter is medicine, like, I truly do believe that. And it was so funny because my friend Tanya Jean and I were talking last night when we landed. Like, I always call Tanya as soon as I land. I used to do that with my mom, but now I always do it with Tanya. And we were talking about some TV show, and we got laughing so hard. And, like, with my husband and with Tanya and my sponsor, and there's a couple other people, like, I have such pure, joyous laughter today. And I have to say, it's like a laughter that I never felt when I used to use back in the day. You know, I used to always, like, you know, like I smoked a lot of marijuana, and I would, you know, be like, oh my God, this is so funny, and I would laugh and laugh and laugh. But today, my laughter is, like, so pure, like, I feel it, like, in my gut, you know? And Tanya and I, just, like, driving around telling each other stories and stuff, like, we get laughing so hard that I really do believe that laughter is, like, such a great medicine, you know? And, like, I was telling Alex, there was something we were in the hotel room, and I said, do you remember when this happened, something? And I just do, like, say little these silly, stupid things, you know, all the time, and it gets him laughing. And I do really believe that laughter between two people is a true connection, you know? And I also think that, to some degree, laughter is a love language that you can speak with your partner or your friend or your coworker or your neighbor or whoever, you know. I think it's just good to laugh, you know. I think it's really healthy, and I love to laugh. And I think, you know, as somebody that feels a broad range of emotions, from sadness to being stressed out to anger to, you know, happiness to whatever, that for me, laughter is kind of the mediator between all of those. And so, yeah, it's really, I love to laugh, and I love stupid little jokes and all this kind of stuff. Like, I was talking to my neighbors, and I was asking them, like, what they're making for tomorrow, because they're having friends over and they're grilling out and stuff, and she was telling me about, like, salads that she's making. And then he is grilling out chicken thighs. Guess why? Chicken thigh. So anyway, I love stupid little jokes. All right, let's get into the Melody Beatty. So if you have a good joke, leave it in the comment section below. All right, let's get into the Melody Beatty books. Let's look at the language of letting go for today. I can't believe that we're halfway through the year. All right, let's see. July 3rd, directedness. Okay, that might be a good one. And let's see. What's in the Journey to the Heart. July 3rd. Where is it at? Cherish your heart. Let's read about directedness first. Okay. Directness, not directedness, sorry. Directness, July 3rd. So much of our communication can reflect our need to control. We say what we think others want to hear. We try to keep others from getting angry, feeling afraid, going away, or disliking us. But our need to control traps us into feeling like victims and martyrs. Freedom is just a few words away. Those words are our truths. We can speak what we need to say. We can gently, but assertively, speak our mind. Let go of your need to control. We do not need to be judgmental, tactless, blaming, or cruel when we speak our truths. Neither do we need to hide our light. Let go and freely be who you are. Today I will be honest with myself and others, knowing that if I don't, my truth will come out some other way. Wow, that's a really powerful meditation, you know, talking about So much of our communication can reflect our need to control. And I think it's interesting, you know, when you think about like how you, like people speak, I think it's probably easier to see when you think about how other people speak to you, because sometimes I think, and I didn't for many, many years, realize how like my aggressiveness or my need to react instead of respond was my need to control how a conversation was going, or whether or not somebody was listening to me, whether or not somebody was validating what I was saying, or whether they were really hearing it, or all of those kinds of things, right? And so that would come out a lot in just like in my tone of how I was speaking, which is something that I've really, really worked on in the last couple of years, because I don't want to be that person today. And in fact, sometimes I even think to myself, like when I'm having conversations with people, especially conversations that get a little heated, I think to myself, well, maybe what I have to say, that's, have you ever been sitting there, and like I'm somebody that has like, is horrible at interrupting people, right? So have you ever like been sitting there and you're thinking, okay, this is what I want to say, or this is what I have to say, but you're really not listening to the other person? And you know, many times what I have thought recently is, I don't know that what I have to say is really that important. Like, I don't know if this is a need to be happy or a need to be right, which is what we talk about in recovery, but I can maybe just let this go and just listen to this other person and be an active listener in this moment and just listen to everything that they're saying. And I don't need to share my point of view. I don't need to share my 2 cents. I don't need to say yes, but I don't need to do all that kind of stuff, right? Which I used to always say that everything after but is BS anyway. But I don't necessarily always need to share my point. Now, there are some times that I do. There are some times that I feel very passionate about what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and that I feel like my point is very, you know, important, and I do share it. But there are many times that I think, you know, if we're just talking about, I don't know, just random things, you know, and somebody will say, well, this and this and this and this, and they're being very controlling. You know what I'm talking about. You can tell when somebody's being controlling and how they're talking, because they're directing the conversation. And it doesn't feel like a fun conversation is how I would define it. Like, it feels like it's kind of, I don't know, like you feel like a little bit like you're being attacked, but you're like, I don't know really why I'm being attacked over the fact that I like Coke versus Pepsi. It's like those kind of conversations, right? Where you feel the need to defend your like of Coke versus Pepsi, but then you sit there and you think to yourself, is it really worth having this argument? And then the question you need to really ask yourself is, and I know this is going to rub people the wrong way, is, how many conversations have I had with this person where it gets very heated over things like Coke versus Pepsi, or pineapple on your pizza, or things like that? And if it gets pretty heated in a lot of conversations, maybe what that is that person's a toxic person, and they always seem to be in control of their conversations because maybe they don't have it somewhere else in their life. And maybe bring that to that person's attention and say, like, I feel like every conversation that we have, whether it's about, does pineapple belong on pizza, or should you DoorDash, or Coke versus Pepsi, I feel like it gets really heated and like you get really angry about it, and like I don't really want to have those conversations with you. And if they respond and they say, oh wow, I didn't realize that, like I'm really going to take a look at that, like that's a keeper, right? That they say to you, I don't know what you're talking about, like I'm never angry about that. Maybe kind of like pay attention to that friendship, and that would for me be red flags of toxicity and chaos, that maybe that person's not somebody I want to keep around. I don't want to have friendships with people where I'm having heated conversations about pineapple on pizza. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not worth it to me. My friend Mel and I, we have kind of a running joke, because I believe that pineapple belongs on pizza and she doesn't. But it's like a running joke between us. Like, we would never have like an argument or a fight over it. I mean, that's kind of like a running joke with a lot of people. But like, I've had that conversation with somebody before. I don't know. I never in a million years when I got in this video thought I was going to be talking about pineapple on pizza. But I've literally had the conversation before with people where they're like, they get very mad and they're like, pineapple does not belong on pizza. Like, why did you ever? I'm like, back up. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. If I enjoy pineapple on my pizza, let me enjoy pineapple on my pizza. Like, why do you care, you know? So, I don't know. For me, it's like really having to look at my need to control conversations. And one of the ways that I've worked on that is, you know, in going to a lot of meetings through the years, like I had a friend of mine that he shared one time that his sponsor told him that at one meeting a week, he has to not share, he has to pass. And what that means is that when you go around in a circle and you like, there's a topic that you talk about in a meeting, when it comes to you, you can say like, you know, I'm Peter, blah, 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 and this is, you know, my share. Or you can say, I pass, okay, and then it goes to the next person. And what he was saying was that his sponsor was basically saying to him, you don't always have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't always have to have something to say. Like, you can pass, right? And then you can listen to other people and learn from what they have to say. And that was such an eye-opening experience for me. And I was like, wow, like that's really powerful. And then that translated into my relationships with people, my conversations with people. I was like, I don't always have to say something. Like, I don't always have to respond or even react, which I don't like to do anyway. You know, like, I can just listen to what they had to say and go, oh, okay, really? Oh, wow. Like, I didn't know you felt that way. Okay. You know, and store that piece, and I don't have to say anything. I can just let them, if they really have the need to say what they have to say and control the conversation, say it, you know? And what's interesting is that back in the day, I used to be like such a fighter and be like, well, yes, pineapple does belong on pizza. And now today, so many people will say to me like, is something wrong? Like, you're not really saying a lot at lunch. And I'm like, no, I'm just enjoying my lunch, you know? Like, you want to talk about a TV show or something? Like, yes, I can't stand it. And I'm like, ugh. Why did I come on this lunch? You know, like, that's where I feel like I'm wasting my time with certain people. That's why I have a very small group of people in my life. Because if you're in my life, and you know that you're in my life, and you're somebody that I hear from on a regular basis, and you hear from me, okay, it's because I cannot deal with the toxicity, the chaos, and the crap. I just can't, you know? I don't want to go out to lunch with somebody and hear, oh, hi! I don't want to hear an hour and a half of somebody else's misery. Now, like, listen, if a friend calls me up and says I really have I need somebody to talk to, like, yeah, I don't have a problem being there, but don't get me there under the guise of, can we go have a fun lunch? And then that fun lunch ends up being an hour and a half of woe is me every single time we go to lunch. Like, not once in a blue moon. Like, I'm there for my friends, right? My friends are there for me. Like, I think that's what friends are. Friends are friends forever. But like, when it's every conversation is fix my life, or let me try to control what you're doing, or let me tell you what you're doing is wrong, it's like, why am I in this friendship? Like, this friendship isn't fun for me anymore, you know? And I'd say it was about 5+ years ago when I really started working on myself that I realized that I'm very, to some degree, chameleon-ish around other people, and I had to start taking a look at who was around me, and were the people that were around me affecting my kind of space in my head, and maybe that wasn't healthy for me anymore. And I started reevaluating a lot of my friendships, you know? And even saying to those people, like, when we get together, we always kind of seem to be very negative and gossipy. I'm like, I don't want to do that, you know? And some of them were like, yeah, absolutely, I 100% agree with you, and those friendships changed. And other people were like, I don't know what you're talking about, but pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. And I'm like, ugh, I can't. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.